Hey, what is going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started with Open Mic Live. But first, as always, a word from our sponsor.
At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESINet goes beyond industry standards, not only i3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
Have you ever met a 911 professional and asked, what's the worst call you've ever taken? Well, here's your answer. I heard your last breath the night you flipped your four-wheeler. I tried to call you the day you committed suicide by driving your car into a tree. Blue face, cold to the touch. I helped you with CPR after you found your infant face down, not breathing. It messed me up. I did everything I could, but it wasn't enough. You were with me from the beginning, Grandma. 27 years later, I took the 911 call when you died. How fitting to be there for me in the beginning, and I was there for you in the end. I miss you, Grandma. I am 911. This is but a glimpse into the world of emergency dispatch. But what is it really like to answer a call during someone's nightmare? What is the impact on the first responder answering the call? From Titletown Publishing, and available on Amazon or where you purchase your favorite books and ebooks. Imagine listening. Your worst day is our everyday. If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to Open Mic Live. As always, this broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, Leader Next Gen Core Services, and it is great to be back here with all of you. It has been a week. It went by really fast. We're already going to be in March as well. So that's even more crazy. So there's a lot of different things that are going on. We're going to get to all of this here shortly. And a big shout out to subscribers as always. Thank you, all of you, very, very much for everything. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for all of you. And but especially all of you who are here listening, sharing, supporting, all of that. So thank you very much. Please make sure to throw in some reactions and roll call. Where are you watching from? Where are you at? As well as share this broadcast. Share this broadcast on your feed, or not just your feed, but also any private dispatch groups or anything like that that you're a part of, or even the public ones, whichever. Share that out there. Let's see if we can get some more folks in here. So there's a lot of things that have been going on as usual. Recently posted episode 532, and that was with my good friend and Deputy Director of Eaton County Central Dispatch. That was with Kelly Cunningham, and that was so much fun. And to be completely honest with you, that was actually not going to be an episode. It wasn't. Um, the video that I recorded there, it was really just gonna be an interview for this video that I'm creating to put out on, all over my social media platforms. I did some B-roll, some filming in the center and such, and we had a lot of fun. So, pieces of what was in that interview is what I was going to use for, for that video. However, it was so good that I had to turn it into an episode. So, I had listened to it back and it was, I don't know, maybe 36 minutes or so. It wasn't a long one, but it was good. And I listened to the whole thing back and I thought, "Damn, this is some really good stuff." And just the culture and everything, the way they have it there at, Eaton County Central Dispatch, I thought, "This has to go out. This has to go out there." So, my friend Kelly, after her episode posted, she had commented or she shared it, but she also had tagged me and commented saying that, um, I I needed to show my face as well, or that I should have shown my face, but really, I mean, if I was if I had done an actual episode, we would have both been on it, but it was really just for the B-roll and everything, but just everything that she was saying was so good, and I thought, "Man, everyone needs to hear this." So, I put it out there as an episode. I got a bunch of clips from that episode as well, and some of these clips I'm gonna play here and, see if we can go over some of that. So, I'm excited to share that, and I'm excited to go to other dispatch centers and speak with everyone, record some episodes, get a tour of your center. It's always awesome to go out and see the real big centers, but also like the medium size and smaller centers, especially the smaller centers, because that's where I started out at. I was originally out of a smaller center. It was a small police department, Frostproof Police Department. And it was just me for 8 hours and, a couple officers that were out on either side of town. And it's cool to see how people do everything differently. Because when I was at the central dispatch and I was there with a team, we were working like a well-oiled machine, right? However, for for myself or any of my coworkers when we were working in dispatch alone, and if you work in a center that is just you for that whole time, you know how that shit gets. You know that once things hit the fan, that's it. It's over. Not that it's over. No, you kick it into overdrive, man, and you're one person just killing it and just working your ass off, and it feels so good at the end because it was you who was doing all of that stuff. So, um, always a lot of fun, and, to be able to explore other centers that are, similar and, just how things are going. So, that is always a good time, and I'm glad that I'm able to go to different centers to be able to show this as well. So, I'm gonna be teaching a lot of classes the rest of the year coming up and, potentially going into the following year as well. And while I'm out there at those centers, that's what I'll be doing as well. So I'll be teaching one day, and then the next day I will be out there highlighting the different centers. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited for that. So again, that was episode 532. That was with the director of Eaton County Central Dispatch out of Michigan, and that's Kelly Cunningham. Again, excellent person and just a great human. And their folks are awesome out there. So that was really good. Episode 533 is going to be coming up, and that is with Ashley Dobbin, and she was so much fun to talk to. It was excellent, and I've got more episodes that are coming up, so they're all ready to go. Of course, they're going to be going out to subscribers of the podcast first, and if you're a subscriber of the podcast, There's a lot of stuff coming, and I'm catching up with letting everybody know what it is that's going to be coming up. So please be patient with me, and I appreciate you so very much. And a big shout out also to everyone who's on Facebook who sends stars as well. Thank you for that. Um, I just downloaded the rest of the Dare to Be Great sessions from Dare to Be Great 5, and I will be adding those to the YouTube channel here by probably the end of this week. And once I do, I'll end up putting it out there um, that they're all there, and to make sure to go and check it out. It'll be excellent for all of you. I mean, it's over 100 hours worth of free training. Okay, over 100 hours of free training. So that is going to be up there. It'll be stuff for you to check out. Make sure to follow on Instagram as well. I have a broadcast channel on there, and you're able to go in there and join. And I'm going to be putting links in there as well, and just doing some kind of special stuff there with Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, make sure to follow me on there. And just to make sure that I have this right, because I have across all of the accounts, it's different. Where like one of them I couldn't use WTT podcast, so I had to use 911 podcast, because the other one I forgot the the password and I got locked out, which is why I can't use it anymore. But on Instagram, it's WTT podcast. That's William Tom Tom podcast. So just follow me there. I'm going to be posting a bunch of stuff, but especially for Dare to Be Great 5, those links and such I'll be putting specifically in the Stories from the Trenches broadcast channel on that account. So make sure to check that out, plus another giveaway that'll be coming up soon as well. So there's a lot of stuff, man, and I'm excited for all of it. I'm excited to be able to continue to give back and share all of this with you. Now, while I'm uh, on this about some of the stuff that I'm going to be sharing out there, this Wednesday, I'm going to put this on the screen right now before we get into some of these videos and kind of discussion. Again, though, with Open Mic Live, because I forgot to say this already, with Open Mic Live, whether you're over here on Facebook, and apparently I have this on LinkedIn. I didn't, for some reason, Twitter or X is not on there. So let me go ahead and put that on. All right, there we go. So here's the crazy thing. This is on LinkedIn right now too, and I don't ever go live for Open Mic on LinkedIn. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, you're get ready for some shit, because I don't ever do Open Mic Live on LinkedIn, because it's LinkedIn. And that's more so for the podcast, or what I'm about to show here on the screen, which is the Dispatchers Roundtable. So that's pretty hilarious that it was over there and not on X. Oh, that's funny to me. All right. So, what I was going to say though is that, as always on Open Mic Live, we check in with each other. So it's Sunday. We're getting ready to start the week tomorrow. But how has your week been? How are things going? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome, whether you're over here on all of these platforms or you're over here on my other screen for Instagram, what is your number? 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome, in between there, whichever. Where are you? How are you feeling? I'm coming in at like an 8.5, I would say. I'm feeling pretty good. Things have been good. So let me put this on the screen. And here we go. So February 28th of this year, obviously, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook, X, as well as LinkedIn and YouTube. We'll be going live for round 38 of the Dispatchers Roundtable, and my panelist for this one is going to be Deborah Abbey. She is a psychiatric clinician, Also 911 dispatcher and EMT, which is awesome. And also Jeremy Meyer, who is a public safety leader. And for round 38, we're going to be talking about breaking the stigma, a candid conversation on ADHD and 911 and dispatch. So when we go live for this is going to be live, as I said, all over these social media platforms. So make sure to check that out. And as soon as we're done with the live broadcast, it immediately goes into replay mode. So if you don't get to check it out like right when we're starting it, or you come in the middle, you miss the beginning, or whichever, you'll be able to check it out for free. And also, it'll be on every single one of these platforms for you to play whenever you want. So there you go. Again, February 28th, 2024, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I'm going to try to put it on Instagram as well. I've never done that before, but now that I have the ability to go live on there from my entire station right here, I'm going to try it for the first time and we'll see what happens. And as always, all of this stuff is sponsored by InDigital Leader Next Gen Core Services. So let's continue from there. Let me look over here in the comments really quick. Okay, we got people joining over here on Instagram, and then we've got all of our folks over here on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And we'll start off with Christina. So she's coming in at a 3. She says, we lost an officer due to medical issues this week. My condolences. And hopefully we can get your number up a little bit, or even if it stays the same, it's completely fine because we're here together. And that's what open mic live is all about. We're here together, and we're going to share some stories and such, but I can say that I know how you feel. I definitely know how you feel. And I'm, again, my condolences to all of you and friends, family, everyone. I'll just share really quick. Years ago, um, we lost one of our sergeants as well. It was out of nowhere. And I remember I came in on Saturday morning to relieve the shift. Our team was going to be working the weekend. And when I walked in, everyone seemed fine, right? And I go to relieve the other supervisor who was on radios. And I asked how the night went. I asked if everything was okay or everything had gone well. And he says, are you serious right now? And I said, yes, I am serious. Why wouldn't I be serious? And he goes, no one called you? And I said, no, no one called me. What are you talking about? And he had said that one of our sergeants passed away. And I remember I remember telling him, "Shut the hell up." I remember saying, "Don't joke like that, man." And he goes, "I'm not joking with you." And it was one of the hardest things because no one called me. My admin was supposed to call me and no one did. And I had to let my team know when they got there. And luckily, it was very busy that day. Very busy. That was probably one of the hardest things. So, and again, I only share that because I just want you to know that I know what you're going through in the sense of losing someone close to you that like that, and I feel for every single one of you. And again, my condolences, my thoughts, prayers, good vibes, everything is with all of you. Looking at James over here in the comments, he says, "I'm a 10 in our nation's capital with some amazing 911 professionals." Christina, you're very welcome. You are welcome. Um, James says, with some amazing 911 professionals fighting the good fight for the 911 saves and the other legislative needs to improve 911. Yes, that is awesome. So that is what's going on as well. A lot of folks are in DC right now. Nina, every year, they have a conference. It's called 911 Goes to Washington. And a lot of folks go out there, and what they do is, excuse me, for this conference, there's a lot of sessions, and you learn a lot about what is going on, um, legislative wise, and some of the things that are trying to get pushed. So, like right now, 911 Saves Act, but also the NG 911 fund. There's a lot of different things that are going on over there. So, what they do is, especially in the opening session and stuff, you'll get all of your information. And beforehand, actually, before that even happens in the planning stage, if you're there with a big group, or even if it's just you, let's say it's just you representing your state, you'll end up getting all this information and you'll get to put it together. And the planning before going there is you try to make contact, or get some time to set up with your rep. Usually it's one of their assistants or whichever that are there that you get to speak to, and you get to present your concerns, but also what it is that we're trying to push in 911 to get them to sign off on it. And it's a really cool conference. If you get a chance to do it, please do so. It's a lot of fun. I was gonna go the last second. I was gonna go, but decided not to. There's not a lot of stuff that I have going on where I would be, I guess, needed there. I do want to go next year for sure. But this year I couldn't pull it off. But I know there's a lot of my good friends that are there, just like James, that are, as he said, fighting the good fight. And a lot of cool stuff is going to end up happening. So if you ever get a chance, try to check it out. And there's a lot of different organizations and such that put out, scholarships. So, kind of look into that, because it's not cheap. It is definitely not cheap. But if you're a member of Nina, you also get, I think, a small discount for being a member. I don't remember how much it is, but either way, a lot of cool stuff happens there. A lot of good things, a lot of networking, and you get to be in DC. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on there. The last time I was there was actually a shooting outside of the hotel that we were all at, and that was pretty crazy. And I can share that story with you here really quick. Um, I was I was sitting in the lobby. Actually, I had just come back from speaking to the then director of the 911 communications center, the emergency communications center there that covers DC and such. And I spoke with Karima Holmes, excellent person, very cool. And she's been a big supporter of everything that I do for a long time. She was a keynote speaker for one of the Dare to Be Great. So it was really cool to be there, to meet her, have her on the podcast, and just do a bunch of stuff there at the center. And I remember that when we were leaving, I was saying goodbye, and I said, I hope everything, goes well for the rest of the shift or whichever. And she goes, oh, there's nothing that's going on anyway. And I remember laughing with her, and I said, you just jinxed yourself. You might as well have said the Q word. I was like, you're tempting fate or something like that. And we just laughed, and, I left. Well, I go back to the hotel, and there were gonna be some different events that were gonna be going on. One specifically where everyone was gonna be in the basement, and it was gonna be a just basically a networking event. Excuse me, with all of the attendees. And they were gonna have paid bar, finger foods, all that stuff. And before that was going to happen, it was probably about an hour or so before that was going to go on, and I'm sitting in the lobby, and I decide to go live, and I went live on social media just kinda give an update of what was going on and what I just got a chance to do being over there at the ECC, and I'm I finish up, the CEO of Rapid Deploy comes up, and we're talking for a little while, and, he walks off, and I decide to, I pack up all of my stuff, and I'm gonna take it up to my room before this event, but I was thirsty, so I went to the little gift shop to get a, bottle of water, maybe a snack or something to tide me over until the event, and I get what I was gonna get, and I start to walk towards the elevator. Now, you may have heard me tell a piece of this before where I will sometimes, uh, when I'm walking with my kids, I'll just take off running. I'll just take off running and they'll start running with me and they're like when we get to whenever I stop, they'll say, Why were we running? What was going on?" And I'll say, I just wanted to make sure, you guys are paying attention that if you see a bunch of people running, that you run as well." Because you don't know what they're running from, and you wanna be safe. So, I've done that with my kids many times. I don't know about all of you, but I've done that with my kids many times, okay? And this one time, I did not do it. Nope, I didn't do it. So here's what happens. I'm walking towards the elevator. The elevator doors open, and I'm still kind of far from the elevator doors, okay? And I see several people haul ass running by me. Normally, I would run with them, but I when I saw that they were just heading for the elevator and the doors were just opening, I thought, "Oh, maybe they're just in a hurry to get upstairs or whatever." But there was a friend of mine who was in the elevator already, when they had just come down, and the door and whatever they said, his face, it just went white, and he looked hella scared, and that was the moment that I realized that I messed up, that I should have started running with those folks. So, I start hauling towards the doors because 'cause I'm still not that close, and they were already there, and the doors were already shutting. There was no way I was gonna make it, and so I'm freaking out because I thought something is going down, and I'm hitting the button, the doors open, and I jump in, another person was running and jumped in, and then, an elderly couple comes up really fast, and they get in too, and they're hitting the buttons to shut the doors, and the person who had run in, the other person who ran in was like, "Did you see that? Did you see what was going on?" And I said, "I don't know what is going on." And the couple, they said, "We saw everything. We saw everything." So around the time that I was finishing up my live, everything was already happening, and they were making their way to the front of the hotel. So that couple was walking into the hotel when they heard the gunshots and ran in and started hauling the, uh, for the doors, for the elevator, and so there was a guy a few blocks down who ended up shooting someone and started giving chase, started hauling ass, and got into the shootout with the officers right in front of the hotel. I'm not gonna play the video here. I don't have it. Don't get it twisted. I don't have video of the shootout. I got up to my room and I just happened to look down and saw all the police there. And I just took a little video of the cars that are just in the alley. There was nothing going on. It was just in the alley. I couldn't believe that that's what was going on at the time, and I was like, "I'm staying in my room. I'm not going anywhere else." And I started checking in with a bunch of folks that I knew that were there at the conference, and it was buddy system, buddy check. We were all checking on each other. We're like, "Okay, everyone's good, everything is fine." And then out of nowhere, one of the most hilarious things happens. And maybe it was just hilarious because of what was going on at the time, and, you get kind of shocked, you know, knowing that that's going on outside right now, and then someone tries to look on the bright side. So this is what happens. Nina, who we're there for, that's the organization, they ended up sending out this, which was good that they did because it would help calm everyone's nerves because everyone was pretty much in their rooms, I believe. But, they end up pushing out a notification on their app, and the notification says, "You may have noticed," and I'm just, like, basically paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what it said, but this is basically what it said. It said, "You may have noticed a big presence of law enforcement in front of the hotel. It is being taken care of. Please make sure to come down to the basement still for drinks and for snacks." I don't know why it was so hilarious to me, but it was like you've got this intense situation that's going on, but hey, make sure to come for some drinks and snacks. Everything is all right. And they were right. Everything was okay. I don't know how many people actually went. I didn't go. I stayed in my room. I went down a few hours later to get dinner, but otherwise, I didn't go down for any drinks and snacks. But I do applaud them for trying to make it better because a lot of people were freaked out, man. But also, in saying that, don't let that scare you either because that could happen anywhere. It's not just in DC. It could happen anywhere. So don't freak out. Um, Cassie goes, "They know their audience." Yeah, for sure. Yes, exactly. Kimmy, hello, my Kimmy. How are you? Glad to see you here. And yeah, no, you're right. They know the audience. They ended up getting the suspect and everything, and it was just crazy because it was not anything that you would ever expect to happen. But then I also thought, oh, when I was leaving and I was talking to the director, things went to hell. So we might as well have just said the Q word because it was pretty interesting. But again, even with that said, stuff like that could happen anywhere. So don't ever let that stop you from, going to specifically this conference because when you're like Ubering around or even walking around, there's a big presence of like you feel safe. At least I did. So speaking from experience, every 911 Goes to Washington conference that I've been to, I have felt super safe in the areas that we were in and the things that we were doing. So again, if you get a chance, make sure to check it out. There was something else that happened that I want to say though. And this is just funny, okay? I don't know if you will think that this is funny because not a lot of people like rodents. So here's the thing. And again, this was years ago. And this was when I was still working with Digital. My coworkers and I are walking down there. Sean Lovejoy, here now. They're always in good areas. Yes, exactly. That's why I'm saying every time I've been there, I have felt safe and it has been good. That one incident that I talked about, that was 2020. That's right. That was the last one before everything went to hell. But that shooting happened outside there. But Again, that could happen anywhere, so don't get it twisted. It has always been such a good experience going to that conference, and it's always been fun. A lot of networking, a lot of learning, and you really feel like you are putting, um, not so much putting a lot into it, but you're a part of something that really, really is something big. Like when things end up getting passed or whichever, it's like I was part of that. I was able to help with that, and it's a good feeling. See, Sean says, I remember that, still felt safe. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Even with all of that was going on, I still felt safe. Like everything was fine. Because again, there's a big presence in that area of law enforcement and everything that everything is good. So here's the couple things that I'm going to say. And I see Kelly in here. Kelly says it just made it a bit more spicy that year. You're right. Yes. The shooting happened and the officers had that scene under control in a few seconds. For real, dude. It was like that. It was crazy, but also really cool to see that such a big presence and everyone that was there doing their part couldn't have been in a it's going to sound weird for me to say it, but it couldn't have been one in a better place, but two kind of in a situation that was done that well with the crazy shit that was happening during that time. Um, Let me see. Kimmy says, I would have requested a taco and margarita. I came in when you said snacks and drinks, so I don't really know what we're speaking of, but tacos and margaritas will make me forgive just about anything. There you go. That works. Cassie says, a couple of people were mugged outside Baltimore APCO Convention Center several years ago. It happens. Yeah, that's true. And I think they're going back to Baltimore next year. I think, or maybe it's the year after that. I don't remember, but I know that they'll be going to Baltimore twice, or they needed to go to Baltimore twice. I see James says I went for a walk and found a park where I watched airplanes landing at Reagan International Airport. It was cool. Washington Monument and the Jefferson Memorial across the river. Yeah. See, that's the other thing, man. There are so many monuments, so many different things to learn about that and just see that even that, just that. But also if you're ready to get your steps in, that's what it's all about right there. Because you are going to get your steps in for sure. I think the last one of the last times I was there and was walking around, I had like 30,000 steps or something. It was a lot. And when the night was finally done, I was dead to the world, man. I needed to I needed to just chill. Kelly says, "Leave your heels at home." Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that. And so like for me, I was wearing well, now I wear some Cole Haans. I wish I had some Cole Haans back then instead of the I think like Stacy Adams that I was wearing because they were not comfortable to walk in. But Cole Haans, that's the ticket right there. Very, very comfortable. Sean says 25,000 steps per day, easy. Word. Yes, I agree. Fully agree right there. But again, an excellent one to go to. So here's the other story I was going to say. So years ago, again, when I was still working with Digital, and my good friend April was working with Digital too at the time. Her and I and a couple of coworkers were coming back from, I think it was a pizza joint, and we were going back to our hotel. Well, the four of us are walking, and April is on the right side, and I'm right next to her on the left, and the rest are to my left. And she's closest to the road on the sidewalk. And I kept saying to her, I was like, let me be on that side. And she goes, no. She goes, I'm fine. I'm all right. And I was like, yeah, dude, but you're like my big sister and I'm your little brother. I just want to make sure you're safe. And then I saw something and I said, move to the left right now. And she goes, oh my God. Oh my God. And I said, move to the left. And she goes, is it a rat? And it was. Dude, I don't know if you've paid attention enough when you're walking around in DC, especially at night, but there was just like this little bush. There was these little bushes there, and it was a rat that was about the size of a chihuahua. The tail, I can't even tell you how long that tail was, but that rat, dude, that rat was big enough that I was waiting for it to stand up and start showing me how to fight like Splinter and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because that's how big that thing was. And she's like, I hate rodents. And I was like, well, this was no regular rodent. So keep walking. And we were laughing about it, but she's like, that was the craziest thing. Kimmy says, absolutely not. I would have demanded a piggyback ride at that exact moment. For real. Yeah. That's how crazy it was, man. That's how big that rat was. But I will never forget it because, we're walking there and I just firm, super firm, like, "Get to the left right now." And she's like, "Is it a rat?" And I said, "Yes." So, Kelly, if you're watching, be careful for the rats. They might well, then again, they might teach you how to fight, how to do some moves. Oh, man. But again, great conference. So, if you ever get the chance, make sure to check it out. A lot of good stuff there. A lot of good things to do, and, it's just so much fun. So, I'm excited for everyone who is there right now and who'll be going through the conference this week, and, keep me updated. I would like to share it out there. Kelly says, "They can take me." The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? You'll be eating a lot of pizza. Kelly, you'll learn how to fight, and you'll get to meet Splinter. Yes. And Richard, what's up, y'all? What's going on? So Kelly, it's funny that you're on here because I have 3 videos that I'm going to be playing that have you involved. So that'll be good. Let's see. Let me see over here. Instagram. I don't know what's going on. Instagram just messed up on me. And that's on their side. It's getting kind of annoying, Instagram, that this crap starts happening. Let's see, it says, "We're having trouble streaming to Instagram. If" oh, no, it's back live. I don't know what the hell is going on, but woo, cool. Alright, so we'll see how long it takes for that to come back on there. For those who are on Instagram, I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on Instagram's end, but, we're gonna continue going here on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And, let's see, Kimmy says, "A dream come true. Kelly, you must keep us posted." Yes. Oh, wait. Kelly also says, "I can't watch myself." No, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. There You'll see. There's 3 videos. What's funny is that each video has a different, like, facial expression in the beginning for you, which is the best. It is the most funny thing. I love it. So, let me see here. Um Yeah, that emoji is perfect. That's perfect. Um, I wanna say this first, okay? I wanna say this first before I get into, Kelly's videos here. So, um, this past weekend, I hung out with my kids. We had a lot of fun. So, as you know, I'm a big pro wrestling fan. And I always say this because I used to watch with my grandmas, and it it reminds me of those times. And but like my kids get really into the storylines and how the storylines are built. They're more about the behind the scenes, like of course the action, right? But they're more about how they make it all work and how it's put together. So I love watching with them because they really like you see them putting together these storylines and how they think it might go. So yesterday was one of their pay-per-views. WWE had a pay-per-view, and what we got to do Friday night is what I called it slumber party it up, which my kids ragged on me the whole time for that. It was one of the most funny things that they were ragging on me about it. And so we end up um we end up camping out in the living room, okay? Because the pay-per-view was gonna start at 5 in the morning because it was in Australia. 5 in the morning. So we camped out in the living room and it was so much fun. And we woke up at like 4 in the morning. My daughter Lola and I woke up at 4 in the morning because our shovels right on the porch just happened to fall. No idea what happened. There wasn't a person out there. We always get a lot of rabbits running around, so we think maybe that happened, or I don't know what it was. But either way, it woke us up. It was 4 in the morning, and I ended up making breakfast for us and stuff. And we spent that morning like 3.5, 4 hours watching that wrestling pay per view. And then the rest of the day, I took a break from social media. I wasn't really on there at all. I just decided that I'm gonna take this time off. So what I ended up doing for the rest of the time was just hanging out. And the reason I'm sharing this is not just because it was so much fun with my kids, but it's good to take a break sometimes. And I know a lot of us, we are grinding all the time, grinding and grinding and grinding. And sometimes shit just passes you by, man. I posted something recently about excuse me, about being consistent. About being consistent in what you're doing and when you're chasing your dreams. But I also put out there that even when you're being consistent and when you're chasing your dreams, take a moment to reflect, take a moment to take it all in, because it's quite possible that you're already living your dream, but you have not given yourself a chance to live it or to feel it. So allow yourself to do that. Because there's a lot of times that I myself don't get a chance to. And I made a point to do so. And Kimmy says, you and your babies needed it. I'm proud of you for taking time for that. Thank you so much. And it felt good, man. It felt good to not be on social media. It felt good not to be on and just to relax, hang back, and have those moments with my kids. So, whatever it is, either it be with your kids or nieces and nephews, friends, family, or just by yourself, chilling with a book or watching a movie or whatever, take that time. And also while you're grinding, look at what you're doing. The reason I say that is because a lot of times we don't realize how good we're doing because we have it in our heads that we need to keep doing more, that we're not good enough, that this is not good enough, that people might not be seeing this or that, or why is nobody responding, or whatever the case may be. When you get in your head, that's when you start messing up. And it's good to know that what you're doing is enough. So if you need that reminder, here it is. What you're doing is enough. Even if it doesn't feel like it. Even if you feel lost sometimes. Even if you're showing up, but your showing up is, posting one thing for the day, or doing a breathing technique, whatever it might be. If that's all that you can do that day, whatever it is that you're working on, don't beat yourself up about it, because you at least showed up. And you showed up with what you could show up with. And I say that too because I am a big I do the same thing. I'm human. I'm just like all of you. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Sometimes I feel like, do people even care? And people do. It's just like with our phone calls. You might not ever know what it is that's going on, but what you do has an impact. You might not ever see it, but it's happening. And sometimes, whether it be in a short amount of time or years later, a lot of those things end up coming full circle. Or maybe those things come full circle and you don't realize it right away until you're sitting, thinking, reflecting, or whichever, and you're like, oh, damn, that happened because of this. And then it hits you. Just remember that you're enough. What you're doing is enough. Show up. So that's why I was sharing that story with my kids this weekend and everything that was going on, because it was definitely needed. And it felt good. That tech reset, that detox for that day yesterday was really good. And then when I started posting some stuff today, it felt even better. It was fun. Not that it's not always fun when I'm posting stuff, but sometimes when you're posting and putting out content or whatever, you're in that mode. You're just posting, and you're like, fuck, where do I go from here? What do I have next? What else do I need to do? So take a moment. Again, I'll say this, take a moment while you're grinding, because you could be living your wildest dreams right now. You just don't realize it. And life is too short to be just grinding and not living it. There you go. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. So it was a good weekend. I had a lot of fun. I want to look into the comments here really quick. I ended up ending the live over here on Instagram because I don't know what happened with it. It just started messing up. So I'll post some clips later and put it on Instagram so that folks on Instagram can see it. There were probably a couple of people watching like, I don't know what's going on. He's just there. He's just frozen. Let's see. Richard says, hey, we all got to unplug once in a while. It's super important for our own mental health. Yes, very much so. I agree. Kimmy says, during that time, you find out just how much they have matured and how much of an influence you've had on them. Yes. Yes, very much so. I agree. See, James says, right on, bro. Yes. Yes, very timely. And Kimmy says, amen. Thank you for sharing that with us. I needed that reminder. You are very welcome. See, this is good to hear too, because sometimes when I start talking and preaching it, I just I hope that it's making sense and that it's coming out well and that everyone is able to relate and understand. I think we all go through some of this at times, and it's good. It's good to have a reminder. It's good to have these conversations. I mean, that's what this is all about. This is what open mic is all about. It's not just sharing funny stories. It's us checking in with each other and seeing how everyone is doing, and but also through the power of storytelling, sharing stories and such. So going from there, today I decided to wear, I'm not wearing them right now, but the whole day I was wearing them, and I have one of them here to show on camera. These are my thin gold line I am 911 Chuck Taylors. These are my Converse. So years ago, okay, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, my family and I were in Florida, and we had gone to some outlets in Orlando. I went to the Converse store, and while we were there, I was talking to the guy, and I looked down. There was this little pamphlet, and I said, "You can design shoes?" And he goes, "Yeah, just go on the website, and you can design a pair of shoes." He goes, "They're not a lot." I think these were like 75 bucks, 75 or 85 bucks. Don't quote me on that because I have to go back and look, but they're very well made, but they weren't as expensive as I thought they were going to be. So I went on there and I ordered a pair. Now it took a few weeks for them to come in. Oh, Kelly says I think they are 80 bucks. There you go, right there, 80 bucks. So um it took, it might have taken actually about a month for them to come in, but when they finally came in, I was like, "Oh, look at them." Ah! And it was embroidered. It's embroidered on here, the hashtag I am 911. I was like, "These are badass." They're very cool. So, I posted the shoes and just saying that I was gonna be wearing them today, decided to pull them out to wear them, and I ended up, um, just getting a big response for the shoes. Again, like, every time I've posted them, and it's been a while since I posted a picture of these shoes, but, um, a lot of people were like, "I want them," or like what Kimmy says here, "Take my money." So this is what I was thinking, and I wanna know what all of you think as well as you're here with me, which thank you for being here with me as well, every open mic live. What if Jamie, what's up, Jamie? I want those shoes. Yes. Okay, so I wanna reach out to Converse because I believe the template that I used, I saved it under my Converse account. So I wanna reach out to them to see if they wanna do a collaboration for National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, where there would be like a sign up or whichever, and they would provide a discount code. So anyone who wanted a pair would be able to get it. Now this wasn't this I'm not looking for an affiliate thing or anything like that. I'm not looking to make any money off of that shit. What I want to do is to be able to give back and just like have us share, this stuff. Like I just want to see if they'll hook it up with a discount code. That's it. And see if they would do it. And then, for that time, you would have that discount code as well. And who knows, maybe they would share it too. But so what are your thoughts? Juliet, what's going on, yo? Juliet has a lot of heart eyes, so I take that as a yes. Jamie says, "Do it." Kimmy says, "Yes." Kelly says, "Yes." Richard says, "All in favor, raise your hand." All right, okay. So I'm gonna try this. Now we're going on the hour, but I'm gonna go over a little bit because I wanna make sure to share these videos because they're very important. And Kelly, what you said on here is important, but also, the last video about prioritizing your mental, wellness. But the other 2 are really cool stories, and I wanna make sure to share them, okay? So, okay. So everyone hey, my mom is here. Hi, mom. My mom is on here as well. My mom's Gloria. So she's saying, "Do it. That would be amazing." Okay. So I'm gonna send a message, or find someone, a contact with Converse, and see if they I mean, it's gonna be a no if I don't ask, right? It'll always be a no. So I gotta try. I have to at least try and see what happens. Maybe they'll end up saying, "You need to have a certain number of people who want to do this to be able to give out a code." So, if that's what they end up saying, I'm gonna post this all over social media to say, "This is the number that we have to reach for folks who want a pair so that we can do this collaboration and they can give or provide a discount code." So, we'll see how that goes. Um, Kelly says, "I bet I am talking with my hands." I think you are too. Kimmy says, "Broski, you doing all of this for us. Take the percentage that is given to you, then invest it back into your programs." Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I I really do. I appreciate it because I don't if I could do this all for free, I would do it all for free because the mission since the beginning has always been to give back to all of you and share your stories. I didn't start any of this for money. Like I've said before, there have been people who have said, "Dude, you could be making so much money if you did this or that or this or that." I'm like, "That's not why I started this. I'm not driven by money. I'm not." Like that's the I'm driven by the mission and passion to do this and so that people won't have to go through some of the stuff that I went through or that others went through when all the mental health shit was going on that I was dealing with and what others were dealing with. It's always been about giving back and sharing stories, and getting them out there, but also at the same time with those stories going out, inspiring people to become dispatchers as well, which I've received tons of emails for over the last decade from people saying that because of this podcast, because of hearing all of your stories, they wanted to be a part of the Thin Gold Line. And I love that. So it has been amazing. Richard says, "Heck, I'd buy a pair without a discount code." Well, that's cool too. Like I can say that as well to them, but we'll see what happens. I want to try to get a discount code for everyone, especially for National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. I tried to say that too fast, and I just stumbled over my tongue there. So I apologize. Uh, Richard says, "And driven by some of the fun random moments to help us help each other too." Yes, we've had so many good moments. Kimmy says, "Exactly. But now that there is profit that could be made in the mission, you take it and reinvest back into you and your mission." I appreciate you more than you know, Kimmy, and I look forward to seeing you again. We had so much fun at the conference last year. So I'm going to send that out and we'll see what happens. We'll see what they say. I really hope that they go for it because they're going to be doing a good thing and they're going to be making stuff off of it as well. So there you go. It'll be awesome. All right. So one last reminder, if you're going to be at the Navigator conference, what is it, in April? I'll see you there. I'm going to be at the Navigator Conference as well. I usually have a booth there. I got to talk with them to see if we're going to be doing that again. Um, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the booth just because there are classes that I might be teaching at other places during that time. So if anything, I'll be going in there to do Imagine Listening and that'll be it. But I got to double check with all of that stuff as we're like a month and a half away from it now, but I just got to double check that. But if you're going to be there, I'm going to be there and I would love to see you at the Imagine Listening session. So just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be doing that. And let's see. Let me pull up this first one. Okay, here we go. Kelly, if you're still on here, you'll see it. Kimmy says, I miss you the mostest. I will be down for a while starting next week. We can catch up while I'm recovering. I'll text you. Yeah, awesome. I look forward to hearing from you. That'll be good. All right, let me put this up on the screen. And let me switch my audio here so that you're able to hear it. All right, here we go. Oops, wrong one. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is a fun story. Okay. This was a fun one. And I'm so glad that Kelly shared these things with me and that I have these clips to put out there as well, because it was not only fun being there, but also chatting with everyone, meeting everyone, taking the tour, and just one of the coolest people, man. All of the folks there at Eaton County Central Dispatch were freaking awesome. And getting to talk with Kelly was good. Um just so good, so much fun. I mean, the episode started out with us just simply laughing. And then at the end, we're like oots 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 dancing. That was so much fun. All right, here we go.
I remember walking in one day and they're like, "Yeah, we had an armed robbery at a bank." And I was like, "Okay." And they're like, "Yeah, look at like they said he had this ugly sweater on." And I'm like, "Hmm." And they show us a picture of the footage and I'm like, "Interesting." So I do hashtag ugly sweater, hashtag bank robber. And up pops the picture, and he's been robbing banks in the same sweater for multiple months. And the FBI knew who he was and was looking for him. So I called the chief of police at the time and said, "Hey, I think I ID'd your suspect." And they called the FBI and they actually found him trying to head towards Canada. So that, I mean, like that's cool to be able to, be part of that process and help solve a crime. It's cool.
So there you go. All right. Let me move this here. Okay. How many of you have had the chance to assist in solving a crime? Oh, Kelly says, lovely face. Dude, look at you. You're smiling, of course. But wait till we get to the other two vids. You're going to love those even more. Um, so, have any of you ever used social media to be able to solve a crime? I thought this was one of the coolest things. And it was also something that I had not heard of. And as it says, you can see it up here at the top. It says the ugly sweater bank robber, how social media helps solve a crime. You got to love it. You got to love it. So that's why I'm asking. Have any of you had the chance, other than Kelly, of course, she just shared her I just shared her story here, but also in the episode, I ended up sharing a story about someone who used to work at my center, and we ended up using social media to track this person down because this person was supposed to come in for their shift, never showed up. So we started freaking out, like, is this person okay? So we get on social media. I think we got on Facebook is what it was, and we were looking all over the place and couldn't really find anything, but we knew the person's boyfriend. Not personally, but we knew that this person was dating this guy, and he's a pilot. And so we end up looking at his social media, and he's talking about this trip that he's taking to Texas with someone. And we get a hold of the deputy who was going to go do this welfare check on one of our coworkers, and they're like, "This place is empty," and we're like, "Oh, no way!" So we ended up using social media, and we found the person's phone number, and the deputy calls the person and is like, "Put so and so on the phone," and they're like, "They're not with us. They're not here. Listen, I know that person is with you. We already did all of the investigating, and we did it on social media. I know that person's with you. Put them on the phone." And they ended up getting on the phone and was like, "I quit." It's like, you couldn't call us and just tell us, "Hey, I'm not coming back." At least give us some time to find someone to come in. Dude, yeah, no, they didn't do that, but we got him. We got him. Kimmy over here says, I plead the fifth. All right. Well, if you guys think about it, go ahead and put that in the comments. Teach us your secrets. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, right there. There you go. That's just one of the ways. But social media, everyone's always posting, right? Everyone's always posting certain things. So you can be tracked. And if you're one of us, we're not going to stop until we find you. Which is a good segue into this next video. And Kelly, if you're currently watching, I think you know exactly which video I'm going to play next. Now, remember, I did say that in these videos, your facial expressions each have a different one. Kelly says, "Don't steal from me." Oh, that's funny. All right, here we go. Here's this one. Yeah, this is the way the video starts out, Kelly. Sorry. It's just the freeze frame that was there. I didn't do it. It's just where the story starts. That's why it's the freeze frame right there. Oh, wait. Kelly says, "Also, I don't have a poker face." She's like, "Good Lord." And Krista, hello, Krista. How are you? She says, "Don't do my girl like that." I'm sorry. Oh, man. I'll push play here in just a moment. I'm sorry. Oh, this is amazing. So this story is an excellent one as well, okay? And this one is called "Never," in all caps, "Never Make a Dispatcher Mad." And then it goes on to say, "How I Caught the Thief." I'm going to leave it at that. Let's just go ahead and play it so that you can hear it. Oh, man.
My car got broken into in the middle of the night. I woke up and I'm like, oh, of course, I know better. I shouldn't leave all my stuff in there, but I did. Well, I'm getting ready for work. I come to work and I'm like, "You never make a dispatcher mad because I got 12 hours to find you." Well, he put all of my items on Craigslist. So, and I could ID them by like, I had a Kindle and it was this same exact case I had. It was this bright green case and everything. So I set up a meet and I worked with the local police department. And he came to sell my Kindle and got arrested. Yes. So I was like, "Yep, never make a dispatcher mad. We have 12 hours to find you."
So there you go. How amazing is that? Kelly, you were the best. You're the best. Because when I was working in dispatch, it was when these new TomToms were first coming out. And oh, wait, Kimmy says, Kelly, I see you, girlfriend. Proud of you. Richard says, way to go, Kelly. Yes. That's why I wanted to play this, because this is awesome, man. This is an awesome story. Because my dumbass, I didn't do that. I wish I would have done something like that, because this years ago when TomToms, right? TomToms, like the newest version of this TomTom had come out, and I had it in my car, and I forgot to lock my doors. I thought I had, but I forgot. And I was working morning shift this one time. Richard says, showing your age, bro. Yes, I am. You are correct. Yes. Um, so I was working this morning shift, and I go out to my car, and I notice that the light is on in the inside. And I thought, what the hell? What happened? So then I go and I notice, so what had happened was the person who opened the door, they didn't want to shut it, and they must not have been able to, like, they didn't want to push it or whatever. So they left it just like that much open. And that's why the light was on, of course, because the door was open, but I couldn't tell right away. And then I go to look in my car, GPS gone. And it was the only thing that was stolen, but it was gone. Oh, wait, Kelly says, did you leave your pager with your TomTom? Oh, dude, this was like 2008, 2009, something like that. Smartphones had just been introduced with the very first iPhone in 2007. So, and I had a BlackBerry. I had one of those cool ass Blackberries. Oh man. But no. Okay, to answer your question, no, I didn't have my pager with my TomTom. My pager was in my pocket. I'm joking. I didn't have a pager. Oh shit. In high school I did, but not years later in like 2008 time. I did not have a pager then. I had a BlackBerry, and that was my pager. Richard goes, but he had a pager. Yeah, in high school. In 1999, I had a pager and a Nextel. Boop. Yep. I did have a Nokia one, but I had one of those brick Nokias in 1996. And the cellular company at that time that I used was CenturyTel. Mhm. Holy shit. That is so long ago. Holy crap. Yep, pager and Nextel. I was definitely pimping. P-I-M-P, pimp. Straight up. Krista says, had to get that high score on the snake game. Oh, I love all of you. You're my people. You are straight up my people. This is so much fun. Um, yeah, so I ended up, it was stolen, filed a complaint on it, and then showed up to work late and never saw it. Never saw it again. But this is one of the coolest things. So Kelly got to live out a version of the call. Like when people say, "What is dispatch like?" Is it like that Halle Berry movie? Excuse me, The Call, where like, do you guys like actually go to people's houses, or do you go chasing people or whatever? And like, no, that doesn't happen. However, Kelly's story here, they ended up setting up this. She set up this meet, and this dude had no idea that you were messing with a 911 dispatcher, which you should never do, because like Kelly says, we have 12 hours to find you. And we will. You're like fucking Liam Neeson. You have a specific set of skills. Kelly says he got picked up on all his warrants. See? So not only was this person stealing and stuff and didn't know that they were getting set up to sell the owner back their own shit, but they also had warrants. Hashtag dumb criminal. Kelly says, I hold grudges. I love it. All right, let me take this one down here. There's one last video of Kelly's that I want to show. And Richard says, speaking of random funny moments, bro, after seeing some of your vids of other folks' stories, I am kind of glad you didn't video the stories back in the day. It would have been epic to get the guys cleaning up in the last day of the conference. I know, that would have been such a good clip. So Richard and I this was I believe the 2014 National NINA Conference in Nashville. And they had the podcast zone in like the main entrance right next to registration. And I was recording there, and he and I are recording, and they're like breaking down tables and everything, and they're going right by us, and we're both talking like like this is going to be so loud. But the good thing though is that the microphones that I was using and the way I had the settings, it just sounded like background, and it wasn't that bad. It actually wasn't that bad, but it would have been hilarious for everyone to be able to see the people all walking through while we were sitting there. Oh, yes. Infamous episode 69. The 69th episode in 2014. It is 2024 now. And I'm on episode 533 that is going to go out. Holy moly. That was awesome. So, Kelly, as I mentioned, every single one of your episodes starts out with a different look on your face. You're going to love this one. All right. Let me put this on there. You've got a funny face in the beginning, the way the freeze frame is, but the reason I want to share this video is not because of the freeze frame. It's because of what you say. And it was a clip that I actually put out earlier today. I've been saving it. Like I said, the short episode that we had, there was just so many good things that you were talking about and saying that I had to put it out there as an episode. Oh, wait, Richard says, Kelly, you know he did this to you on purpose. No, not at all. I mean, in a way, yes, on purpose. But the purpose of it was so that all of you could hear the message. Because it's a good one. There were funny stories. And then there were other stories where her folks, one, using their firm voice, saved a person's life. And it's awesome and refreshing to see so many centers now showing off the good things that their people do. And a lot more places need to do that. And it's been changing since about 2016. Things have been changing and changing. Even in the media, things have been changing. And it's a good thing because people need to know what it is that you do on a daily basis. But more importantly, why you do it. And that's why I share these clips, because there is a lot of hard, right? A lot of horrific that is 911, but there's a lot of good things, a lot of rewarding things, a lot of funny things that happen. That's why I share it. And and it's really good information. So I want to share this here on the screen. Now, this one is about prioritizing your mental wellness. So here we go.
But again, I think the one thing that we stress here is mental wellness and checking on each other and, talking it out. And, even if something didn't really bug you, you always have people checking in on you here and just saying like, hey, if you need to talk, I'm here. And we all realize what goes on. We're all in the loop here. We all know what calls happen over the course of a day. And we're not going to be too intrusive if you don't want someone to be intrusive, but we're checking on everyone and making sure that they have someone to talk to and are handling those difficult calls.
So there you go. That's why I wanted to share this as well. This clip is called Prioritizing Mental Wellness, the Importance of Checking In on Each Other. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of places, in some places they do, and in some places they still don't. And I think that even though there are a lot of different things that go into the short staffing issue, a lot of different variables, I think that one of the most important and common things with that as well is us just simply communicating with each other. I don't think we do that enough. And I think that if we could normalize that, which is funny to say, right? Because what do we do all day? What does dispatch do all day? They're taking calls, they're using their voice. But when it comes to using our voice with each other, that doesn't always happen. The communication isn't always there. But at this center, they're checking in on each other, they're prioritizing it. People are staying. At the time that I was there, I believe there was one position that was open. And there were a lot of people who wanted to work there. And it wasn't all because of money or anything, it's because of the culture. The way people are there, the way they work together, like a team, like a family. That is a good culture to be in. There are other centers, other places that the culture isn't the greatest, and people are leaving. But if we could just communicate and change that culture around, people would stay. And some of those other variables, the money or whatever, I mean, right, money is a big thing, right? Benefits are a big thing. That, don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid. Those are important things. But if you're in a place where you feel welcome, where you feel seen, recognized, understood, like people are listening to some of your suggestions, you're going to want to be there. You're not going to want to leave. And when shit gets hard, you're going to want to be there for your people because of that culture that's there. So, Kelly, that's why I'm showing these videos. And that's why it was so much fun being there with all of you. And really was refreshing walking through and seeing everyone's pictures on there displayed. You don't see that in a lot of places. But it is my hope that throughout everything that I do and have been doing for all of this time and beyond, that the saying that is out there of the most important person you will never see will no longer exist. Because people are going to see you by the work that you do, by the community events, the public education, all of that. People will know. And that saying won't even be a thing anymore. So well done, Kelly. Well done to your entire team, everything. It was a pleasure to be there. I want to look in the comments here really quick. Richard says, 2 thumbs up for Kelly. Great message for sure. Kelly says, you have to check on each other. My people even check on me after hard days. I love that. My mom says, you are all beyond awesome. Always reach out for each other. Kelly says, my people are amazing and are the driving force of our culture. Love that. Yes. Yeah, there you go, Richard. It's Eaton County 911. They're out of Michigan. It's the Eaton County Central Dispatch. Established in 1989. And this is the coin. I don't know that it'll focus. There it is. Bam, right there. Excellent challenge coin. Thank you guys for this. I appreciate it. Before I go off air here, because we're now going an hour and a half, I want to share. I would just want to back up on this video really quick because I don't know if you noticed, but the gentleman in the corner right here, if you watch him in the beginning, he starts dancing a little bit, which I thought was amazing. Let me see. Yep, right here. You see him right there. Okay. So I'm gonna hit play and just watch right here, and you'll you'll see him dance a little bit. I didn't notice it the first time I made this clip. It wasn't until I had them all ready to go and branded and stuff that I noticed it afterwards. Dan, yes, that all right, here we go. Watch. And actually, let me make this a little bigger. There you go. On display, Dan. Watch. Here we go. Remember, in the corner.
We stress here is mental wellness and checking on each other and, talking it out.
Oh, that's the best, man. That is the best. Love it. When I put it out there, I was like, I wonder if anyone's going to catch him in the background. Oh, that was one of the coolest things. Well, there you have it. Oh, Kelly says, you have to have fun at work. You're right. You do. I remember being in dispatch and we used to have fun all the time, man. It was so much fun. I miss it. Richard says, and looks like she glances up at him briefly too. Way to hold your poker face. Oh, that is great. Well, as always, thank you, all of you, for being here with me for Open Mic Live. For those on Instagram, I apologize. I don't know what happened on Instagram side, but I had to end the live over there. And for those of you who are at 911 Goes to Washington this week, say hello to everyone for me and fight the good fight. I wish I was there with all of you. I really do. And this live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen core services, and I hope that your numbers went up a bit. Where are you at now? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty and 10 being awesome, what is your number now? I'm way above a 10. This has been so much fun with all of you. Thank you for being here with me, as always, for Open Mic Live. And if you have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the flagship show, shoot me a message, wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. And excuse me, to make it a lot easier, just simply go to the link that's there on the screen. That's links with 2 i's.co/WTT podcast. That's links with 2 i's.co/WTT podcast. You'll find everything on there. Email, social media, where to follow. Make sure to follow on Instagram and also, well, in any other platform. Instagram is the one that I'm trying to focus on at the moment before switching over to LinkedIn and then X. And so I'm trying to pay individual attention to each one of them and hopefully hit those 10,000 followers on Instagram here soon, because there's a lot of different features that they end up putting out there. So I want to take advantage of those to be able to give back and give more out to all of the followers that are on there as well. But also, if you want to be a guest on Within the Trenches podcast, if you are very early in your stages of dispatch, have been there for a while, very seasoned dispatcher, or you're retired, send me a message or go to links.co/WTT podcast. Scroll down just a little bit and you'll find the button there to schedule an episode with me. I would love to have you on the podcast and to share your story. I've been doing this for over a decade, and it has been an amazing experience. So hit me up. We'll get your story out there, and we'll have some fun recording an episode. It'll be a good time. You can see this on Facebook, YouTube, as well as LinkedIn Live. I had it on LinkedIn Live today, X, and I try to put it on Instagram and TikTok every so often, but Instagram was messing up. TikTok, I have to do it on my phone, so it makes it a little bit harder to do all of this at once and have it here too. So I'm going to try to pull that back into it as well. And then for the flagship show, you can listen 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. I hope you have an excellent week this coming week. And remember that while you're being consistent at whatever it is that you're doing, remember to take a moment to reflect and take it all in, because you could definitely be living your wildest dreams. You just don't know it yet. So take that moment for you, because you deserve it. And whatever it is that you're doing, even if you feel like you're not doing enough, you really are. You just got to get out of your head. You're enough and you're worth it. I'm proud of all of you. Have a good night, everyone. And I will see you all in the next one. Good night.